Hello everybody, welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone. It's fantastic to have you watching yet another one of my videos. As few and as far between as they have been in this last 12 months. I do apologize for that, but I'm going to talk about that in this video. I am going to endeavor to keep this video on the shorter side. As you can see, I'm still in my car. I'm on a break between a couple of shifts of my deliveries. And so I'm taking the time to do this video. Now, it is a pressing issue to get videos out, and it's just been pushed back. Other things have taken priority, which is a bad thing because this is an important outlet for myself to share this stuff. I know it doesn't go very far and wide, but if people are going to see it, it needs to be up and on the channel. And if it's not, well, what I've got to share isn't out there. Now, before I go any further, a shout out to Lockie B, the King Dreamer. Please check out his channel. He left a comment on my previous video, which I found was in September, over 2 months ago, which I guess put a little bit of a fire in my belly to get something out. And I've got the chance to do it tonight. So please go and check out the King Dreamer here on YouTube. And yeah, support Lockie there. Watch some of his content, and he covers a lot of things on there. So just go and have a look there if you wouldn't mind. That would make me happy, and I'm sure it would make him happy too. So that's the King Dreamer. Go check it out. Now, want to just sort of do a little bit of a backtrack. I want to do some catching up to where we are now. Just a quick overview because it's important for the context of what I'm going to talk about. So, if you've been following my channel, and if you haven't been following my channel for very long, the videos are all still there. I recommend going back and having a look. Now, I started my channel at the very, very beginning of 2020. Before all of it all broke loose and got crazy. Now, I spoke about not succumbing to the fear, not allowing them to control you, that sort of thing. I was keeping my language fairly controlled in that time because it was a very new platform for me. But I was talking about keeping your head, not allowing things to, become out of hand. Unfortunately, the majority, they did succumb to the controls that came later. If you've been following my videos throughout 2020 and 2021, you would have known that I preempted pretty much every step of the lockdowns, all of those things before they were mainstream news. I was talking about them. Unfortunately, I don't know whether my channel was being shadow banned. I have no idea. It possibly was, because of the things that I was talking about, the things I was putting in the titles and that sort of thing. Now, when when I was talking about in 2021, in October, just prior to or around about the same time that they brought out the mandates for this, and I was talking about how the Reserve Bank were saying interest rates wouldn't need to rise until 2024. Now, please note, we're in 2023 and we've already had 13 rate rises. We're now at 4.35%. And at the time of the video that I put out, we were at 0.1% cash rate. Now, that wasn't an accident. And I'll get to, that in a moment. But then after that, I put out some other videos talking about how the cost of living was going to become a big issue. Things were going to get pretty bad. I'm not sure that I covered too much about possible world events, but I did say that what would be the case generally is they'll come out with something worldwide or somewhere in the world to justify the rate rises, to justify the cost of living pressure and all of that sort of thing. If you look at things through the right lens, right now, you can tell that it's all manufactured. It's all happening in that type of way. Just the very fact that the WAR in the country near Russia, you'll notice that happened moments after, really, the Olympics. So why was that? Why did that happen in that way? You know, you got to ask yourself, it could have happened before it. Like, so everything's been coordinated. You get your little reprieve, you get your little, oh, it's okay, it's all going to be okay, everyone's, you know, getting along fine, and then bam. And now we've got this other thing that's come out on, was it October 5th? I'm sure you're all aware of what's going on, to do with the, yeah, I need to be careful what I say, I think, just because I want this video to stay up. But I'm sure you're aware of the other WAR that's now occurring. Just coincidentally happens to happen in a flow-on effect after the other one. Cost of living. Well, we get told that the inflation rate is between 5 and 6% annual inflation rate. And I shared in another video some time back about how a loaf of bread in 2022 cost $1.80. It now costs $2.70. So that's a 50% increase. That's not 5 or 6%. So the real inflation rate is far, far higher than what they ever quote you. So the reason I share all of this stuff is because I talked about it before now. It's happening now and has happened just in the past, but each step along the way, I've covered it. Now, it's important to understand these things on a macro level, because if you're going to handle what you need to handle in your microcosm, in your home, in your work, in that locale where you are, all those things that you're dealing with on a daily basis are affected by the macro. Now, you can't affect the macro, but you need to be aware of what's going on. And that's the reason I share it. Now, bring it back to how that's affected me. I was trying to do Twitch, and I was doing quite a lot of YouTube videos. I did my Real Money playlist, which I haven't added to, but I am planning on adding to that hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. But hopefully tomorrow has been the last 2 weeks. The whole of November has hopefully been tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Still hasn't happened, unfortunately. So, but what was I going to say? I've prepared. I did a lot of preparation through 2020, 2021, 2022. I was preparing for, you know, what I could see coming. And it has served me well. It has put me in a position where I can continue to prepare for what's coming next. All the things that are, you know, not that far away now. Going to have to cover that on another video. Now, having said that, I'm still a little bit on the back foot because the cost of living went up a lot faster than I thought that it was going to. And that's just, you know, a proof that we can be aware of what's likely to happen and we can have a really good idea, but we can't control that. And even though we might have prepared for something, the preparation still didn't quite cut it. Or, you know, I've had to put myself out there and really, you know, put myself to the grind again to try and make sure that I'm still moving forward, or at least treading water, moving along to this next stage. If I didn't, and I know many out there didn't do any preparation during the time that I was doing preparation, they wouldn't have seen my video. I mean, that's something that I think, if I can encourage you to do anything, it's to share my content. I don't get anything from YouTube for doing it. I do it because I want to do it, because I want to share what I know and get it out there. I'm never going to make anything doing YouTube with, 10 views and 4 views and 5 views and all that sort of thing. So that's not my reason to do it. But if you had have seen my videos, if you had have put some of the actions that I was talking about in place prior to now, you'd be in a better position. I guarantee it. Now, if I hadn't have done any of those preparations back when I was doing them, the time right now would be very, very difficult. I wouldn't have been able to continue, at least granted at a slower rate, I wouldn't have been able to continue increasing my holdings of real money. I've been able to continue to do that because of the previous preparation I did in 2021-22. So, but I intended to do more Twitch and more YouTube and continue to do that. Unfortunately, my time has been taken on other pressing things. But that still doesn't take away from the content that I put out prior to things getting more difficult. You can go back, you can look at my videos, and you can see that I talked about all of these things. All of them. All of the things that are coming now. I didn't know of the specific way that they were going to make things happen, but how it was going to pan out and what things were going to affect us, yes, that was obvious. But they have to find mainstream excuses and propaganda to hide the very agenda that they're coming through with. Now, I had a video that was removed from here, and I can't talk about the topic that was within that because that would probably get this one removed as well. But if you were lucky enough to see what I spoke about in there, if the whole public had have done what I said, we wouldn't be where we are now, because they wouldn't have been able to push it to where we are now. But everybody, majority, allowed it to happen. So, and now, as a result, everybody is paying for it. Financially, some, unfortunately, with their health. So it's, yeah, look, I just share this stuff because I do know how things are panning out. I do know the general direction that they're going in. I do know that preparation is key. And these videos are not any, I don't want them to be any form of you should have known better, why did you not listen, or anything like that. This is an encouragement to suggest that we make mistakes, and the best way to deal with a mistake is to not repeat it. That's the most important thing. So a few stood tall, stood firm, and stood up for themselves. Good on them. Many didn't, but I note that many have woken up through this process. They are now wide awake. Now, they probably feel a bit guilty, a bit silly for falling for it. But, look, I don't know. It's just, like I said, we make mistakes. No one's perfect. But the key is not to make the same one again. And rest assured, they are bringing stuff through soon enough, because they're confident that enough said yes last time, they'll be able to push the next level. And at the moment, they're sucking liquidity, they're sucking cash, they're sucking buying power out of the middle class. And we're going to get this two-tier type scenario as they squeeze the middle class. Now, the squeeze on the middle class is not a new thing, but it's on steroids now. Okay. So, I reiterate what I've said in previous videos back in 2022, 2021. Prepare. The cost of living is going to continue to go up. Inflation is going to continue to skyrocket. It's not going to stop. Now, I had an idea I thought, hey, they're going to crash it. I thought they're going to push it hard enough that it'll crash it. But no, they're just continuing the squeeze on the middle class. That's game number one. That's the game plan number one. That's what they've been doing for a very long time because, hey, the majority of who said no in this last case are middle class. The only ones that could. So let's squeeze that a little bit more so there's less that can next time. And how do you do that? You pump up an economy while the economy can't actually give any sort of physical evidence for being pumped up so that everyone will accept what needs to be accepted. And then everyone has to pay for it. And who pays the most for it? Middle class. And in that inflationary period, cost of houses go up, cost of land goes up, cost of food, cost of services, everything, the cost goes up. Why? Because the inflated amount of cash or dollars in existence has gone up. That continues to go up. They raise rates. That pushes inflation higher. It doesn't reduce real inflation. Relative inflation, maybe. But real inflation, no. It just increases it up further. And as part of that, bank profits are at record levels. Why? Because all of what was handed to everybody so that they will accept this is now being taken back plus extra. People's savings levels have never been lower. And it's going to continue. So, how do you prepare? You go and you look at my real money playlist where I talk about what is real money and how to avoid getting caught up in the inflation, because cash in your hand or in a bank account, you're losing value every single day. That's on steroids. Physical assets, food that doesn't go out of date or at least with a long shelf life, that's imperative. It's saved my bacon. Like, it's made things a lot easier for me because I did that before the inflationary period picked up. And real wages versus the cost of living has always been out of sync, and that gap has widened. It's widening at its fastest rate ever. Again, it keeps the poor and it squeezes the middle class. A select few of the middle class may be able to rise above that and not drop below. Majority will drop below and be put into a place where compliance will almost be a necessity to survive. That's the plan. Okay? So I hope you understand that. I know it's all hard-hitting stuff, and I'm sorry that it's been a long time since I've put a video out. But all of this, I hope, is a bit of a precursor and a refresher for what I'm going to be discussing in the videos to come. And I just pray for all of you who do see this video that you hear what I'm saying. Know that I couldn't know what I know just by study or by just being me. I'm in a position where I get to see it from a perspective that's not just my own perspective. I'm given the ability to see it, thankfully. And I was partially put on that path by my dad, and I'll always pay credit to what he was able to do and the ridicule that he had to go through at times as well. Thankful so much for him and his faith in God, to trust that what he needed to share was there to be shared, and he shared it regardless of the ridicule that he got. And I'm hoping and praying that I'm stepping into those shoes at least somewhat, albeit a different platform, a different method. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, guys. The next video will probably be a little bit longer than this one, and this one's already been long enough, pushing 20 minutes. But I'll be doing another video hopefully tomorrow, and I'm hoping that I'll have another video out, and this time I'll have my very first guest. No, actually second guest, because I think I had Lockie on as a guest on an earlier video way back in 2020. So this will be officially my second guest. He's an American mate of mine. He's working on a project that I've been involved with, and it's almost ready to go live. So we want to be sharing that very, very soon, but further details are to come on that. But that'll be in the coming weeks, not necessarily now. Still trying to pin down a time when we'll be able to have that, but I'll have him on for an interview. And hopefully, if I can get the video out tomorrow, I'll be doing an unboxing of real money. So stay tuned for that. It should be good. There's a lot of stuff in there that it was accumulated over about a 12-month period before I was able to take delivery. I just never got around to it. As I said, life's been pretty crazy trying to get my head around what's going on and stay ahead of the curve, because that curve's getting steeper. That's it. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next videos, and until next time, take care, and please, God bless you.